Today's story is about two classmates who couldn't stand each other but ended up stranded on a remote island together. With no choice but to work together to survive, their time on the island takes an unexpected turn. What happens between them? Let's find out. Our story begins with Emma, a cheerful and energetic girl. She wakes up early, gets ready for school, and starts her day full of excitement. Emma is one of the smartest and most popular students, surrounded by friends who adore her. Then there's Dean, lazy, careless, and the complete opposite of Emma. He wakes up late, rushes through brushing his teeth, and then sits down to play video games. Meanwhile, Emma's mom, Barbara, drives her and her younger sister, Stacy, to school. At the entrance, Emma meets her best friend, Liz, and they start chatting. A boy named Stephen walks by and greets Emma. Liz instantly teases her, making Emma blush. Later in class, their teacher, Mr. Christensen, announces an exciting school trip to Trinity Island. The bus is set to leave at 7 a.m. the next morning. During lunch, Liz jokes with their friends about how this trip could bring Emma and Stephen closer. Emma tries to steer the conversation away, but her friends are too busy making plans for her love life. As she eats, she notices Dean sitting alone, slicing an apple with a small knife. Ms. Collier, one of the teachers, catches him and immediately scolds him for bringing a knife to school. She drags him to the principal's office. Watching this, Liz shakes her head and says, "See? Dean is nothing but trouble." The next morning, Emma is excited for the trip. She thanks her parents, Barbara and Phil, for letting her go. On the other hand, Dean doesn't want to go at all. His dad reminds him, "We worked hard to get you on this trip after your mistakes. Don't waste this chance." With no choice, Dean reluctantly agrees. At school, Mr. Christensen gathers everyone, and they board the bus. As Emma steps on, Stephen greets her, but Liz pulls her away, whispering, "Focus on Stephen. Don't waste time on anyone else." After a long journey, they finally arrive at Trinity Island. Emma and her friends rush to the pool, laughing and splashing around. Stephen joins them, but Dean stays on the balcony, watching from a distance. Later, one of Emma's friends invites her to a party on a boat. At first, she isn't interested, but her friends convince her to come. When she gets there, she looks for Liz but instead sees Stephen kissing another girl. Heartbroken, she decides to leave. Dean, standing nearby, notices her reaction. With a smirk, he says, "Looks like your boyfriend is having the time of his life." Emma glares at him. "This has nothing to do with you, Dean. Just mind your own business." Before she can leave, chaos erupts. The police storm the boat after receiving reports of students using drugs. Officers quickly start questioning everyone. Amid the commotion, Emma loses her balance and falls overboard into the dark water. Dean sees her struggling and, without hesitation, dives in to save her. He pulls her to safety and spots a small boat tied to the larger one. Helping Emma onto it, he quickly cuts the rope, separating them from the party boat. Emma stares at him in shock. "Why did you cut the rope?" Dean shrugs. "I'm not getting caught up in a police raid. We'll wait until they leave and then get back." But things don't go as planned. The boat has no motor. Suddenly, a massive wave crashes over them, sending them drifting into the open sea. Holding on tightly, they endure the rough waters through the night. By morning, the storm has passed, but they're lost in the middle of nowhere. Dean checks his pockets, realizing he left his phone behind. Emma checks hers. It's there, but there's no signal. Frustrated, she says, "If we had just stayed on the boat, we wouldn't be in this mess." Dean shrugs, trying to stay optimistic. As they drift, Emma spots something on the horizon, a small island. She points it out, and Dean immediately starts paddling with his hands. After a long, exhausting effort, they finally reach the shore. Emma quickly checks her phone again, hoping for service, but there's nothing. Meanwhile, Dean searches through the small boat and finds a flare gun, tucking it into his pocket. They decide to explore the island, hoping to find help. As they walk deeper into the forest, they come across a stunning waterfall. Dean stares in awe. "Wow, this is incredible. Take a picture for your memories."
We gotta keep going. Let's just find a hotel.
What?
Emma glares at him. "Are you serious right now? We're stranded on an island, and you think this is a sightseeing trip?" Dean laughs. "Come on, Emma. At least try to enjoy something while we're here. We'll figure a way out." Meanwhile, back at the hotel, Mr. Christensen is furious about the students' behavior and cancels the rest of the trip. Liz nervously approaches Ms. Collier. I haven't seen Emma since last night, she admits. I thought she was with someone, so I didn't say anything earlier. Alarmed, Ms. Collier informs Mr. Christian's son, who takes attendance and realizes that not only Emma, but also Dean is missing. The police are called, and officers begin questioning students. When asked if the missing students could have fallen into the sea, one officer explains, it's possible. But if they're stranded in the water, finding them will be very difficult. At the same time, Dean's father, Jack, and Emma's parents, Barbara and Phil, are informed about their disappearance. Worried and desperate for answers, they rush to the school and demand an explanation from the principal, but he has none. Meanwhile, on the island, Emma and Dean continue pushing through the thick forest, hoping to find someone who can help. After hours of walking, they reach the far edge of the island, only to realize it's completely deserted. With no other choice, they decide to return to their boat. But when they get back, their hearts sink. The boat is gone. The strong waves have carried it away, leaving only a single life jacket behind. Exhausted and defeated, they sit on the sand, unsure of what to do next. As the sun sets, Dean gathers some dry sticks and manages to start a fire. Emma shivers in the cool evening air, and without hesitation, Dean takes off his shirt and hands it to her. The next morning, Dean wakes up to find Emma missing. Panicked, he searches for her and spots her near the shore, writing large letters in the sand. "What are you doing?" he asks. "Trying to save my life," Emma replies. "We need to find food and water, or we won't last long." Dean decides to cool off in the sea, swimming as Emma watches him silently. Back at the hotel, Mr. Christian's son meets with Emma and Dean's parents, informing them that the police have found traces of a small boat in the water. Frustrated, Jack suggests hiring a private rescue team, but Mr. Christian's son insists. "The police are doing their job. We need to trust them." On the island, Emma searches for water, but suddenly gets an eerie feeling, as if someone is watching her. She quickly hurries back to find Dean. Together, they gather leaves and branches to build a small shelter and write a giant SOS on the beach, hoping a rescue team might spot it. For food, they explore the island and eat whatever they can find. Dean finds a banana tree and picks some bananas for them. The heat becomes unbearable, so Emma cuts her long pants into shorts. That evening, as Dean naps inside the hut, Emma lies down beside him. In his sleep, he turns toward her and places his hand on her. The next morning, Emma bathes under a waterfall when Dean walks up. "Got any sunscreen?" he asks. Emma frowns. "I'm bathing here, go somewhere else." Dean smirks. "You told me to keep watch for safety. So here I am." Emma's expression turns serious. "I told you because I think someone else is on this island. We're not alone." Back at the hotel, Emma's disappearance makes the news. The police inform her parents that the chances of finding Emma and Dean alive are slim. They've started searching for bodies instead. The news shatters Barbara, but Phil comforts her. "I'll take care of Stacy at home," he says. "But don't lose hope. We'll find Emma." Jack refuses to wait. He rents a helicopter and joins Barbara in the search. They fly over the sea, scanning the endless blue for any sign of their children. On the island, as night falls, Emma sits beside the fire. "I miss my family so much," she admits. Trying to lift her spirits, Dean looks around but suddenly stumbles upon something, a human skull. Emma freezes in horror. "This must have been someone who got stuck here, just like us," she whispers. "Look what happened to him. What if the same happens to us?" Dean places a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "No, this person was probably a fisherman or maybe a smuggler who ended up here by accident. We're not like him. We have people looking for us. We're not alone. I promise we'll survive. Trust me." Then, without thinking, he leans in and kisses her. For Emma, it's her first kiss. Her heart pounds as she experiences something completely new, wild, and untamed. By morning, she wakes up and notices Dean is gone. Worried, she calls his name and searches for him. She finally finds him digging a pit. Confused, she asks, "What are you doing?" Before he can answer, Emma trips and falls, scraping her knee. Dean quickly helps her up and cleans the wound. "You're going to be okay," he assures her. Later, as they rest near the waterfall, Dean opens up about his mother's death in a car accident. Emma listens closely, touched by his vulnerability. As the rain starts falling, Dean steps into it, letting the drops soak him. Emma watches for a moment before joining in. They laugh, dance, and for the first time in weeks, they feel free. Dean plucks a flower and tucks it into Emma's hair, making her smile. I want to enjoy the storm again, she says softly. Dean grins. Then let's prepare for another night of adventure. A month passes. The police officially end the search, declaring Emma and Dean likely dead. Barbara refuses to accept it. She organizes another search with Jack, handing out flyers and pleading for help. Days later, Jack turns to Barbara. We've tried everything. Maybe it's time to go home. Heartbroken, she agrees, but deep inside, she still feels Emma is alive. As weeks go by, they grow even closer, finding comfort in each other. They share quiet moments, laughter, and deep conversations. Whenever they want, they become intimate, feeling a bond unlike anything they've experienced before. One day, Emma shyly asks Dean about his first time. He chuckles. It was with an older friend back in school. When he asks her how she felt, Emma hesitates before smiling. It was good. They laughed together, finding happiness in the strangest of places. While foraging for fruit, they suddenly hear the distant hum of a plane. Their hearts race as they sprint toward an open space, the distant whir of helicopter blades. Emma and Dean race to an open clearing. Hands shaking, Emma raises the flare gun and fires. A red light shoots into the sky, cutting through the blue. The helicopter slows, then circles back. They've been found. After 3 months, Emma and Dean return home. At the airport, their families rush to them, wrapping them in tearful embraces. Cameras flash. Friends cheer. They are safe. That night, Dean visits Emma at her house. Sitting together, they talk about how strange it feels to be back. Everything looks the same, yet nothing feels the same. Dean leans in to kiss her, but Emma gently pulls back. My parents are always around, she explains. But they're throwing a party for us tomorrow. You should come. The next evening, at the celebration, Emma's parents give a heartfelt speech, thanking everyone for their support and expressing their overwhelming joy. The crowd applauds. As the party continues, Dean lingers on the edge, watching Emma. Stacy notices and asks him, "Why aren't you with everyone?" Dean doesn't answer. He simply looks toward Emma, silently willing her to come to him. But she doesn't. She avoids his gaze, caught up in the attention. Hurt, Dean quietly leaves the party. Emma, now famous for her survival story, finds herself swept into the public eye. Meanwhile, Dean drifts into isolation, feeling like a stranger in his own world. Whenever they pass each other, there are no words, only a brief, distant glance. One night, Emma calls Dean. He doesn't answer. Instead, he visits his mother's grave, kneeling before it. Tears slip down his face as he whispers memories of the island, of Emma, of how lost he feels now. Prom night arrives. Emma, dressed beautifully, stands before the mirror. Her sister, Stacy, enters and smiles softly. After you disappeared, we missed you so much, Stacy says. Mom and Dad were devastated. We thought we lost you forever. But now you're here, and everything feels right again. Emma hugs her tightly. You're my very good sister. Together, they head to prom. Meanwhile, at home, Dean sits on the couch, watching TV. His father steps in, holding out a coat. Going to prom? He asks. Dean looks at the coat, then at his father. After a long pause, he takes it. At the prom, Emma is led to a surprise by her friend Liz. When she steps outside, she sees Dean standing in the rain, waiting for her. The sight of him, so familiar yet so different, stirs something deep inside her. Memories flood back. The island, the rain, the night they danced in the storm. Overcome with emotion, Emma steps forward, joining him in the rain. Dean doesn't speak. Neither does she. But in that moment, no words are needed. The story ends here.